Zippity-doo-dah. How are you? Good to see you again. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 20th day of February, 2020. Wake up, Wenatchee Valley, back on the air on another beautiful winter's morning here in north central Washington. As you can see behind me, it's just gorgeous. Sunrise just now happened a couple of minutes ago. It's going to be another beautiful day, a little on the cool side, but nothing we can't handle. And things are going to change over the weekend. In fact, they are maybe thinking a little bit of snow right here in the Wenatchee Valley overnight Saturday into Sunday. I wouldn't bet on it. We got some forecast details coming your way, but that big dome of high pressure has been dominating our weather for the last 3, 4, or 5 days. Starting to slide off to the east. It's going to leave, and it's going to allow a couple of minor systems to pay us a visit over the weekend. Nothing we can't handle. Forecast details are coming up. Plus, we got news. We got sports. We got the obscure holiday. We got today in history. We got some celebrity birthdays. Mike McNaughty has an opinion. It's Thursday. That means kennel cameos. Chloe the cat needs a home. Megan McPherson went down and visited our friends, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. We'll have that for you as well. And in the back half of the hour, Steve Hare's continuing series of interviews with the newsmakers and the leaders around the north central Washington area. He had a chance to sit down a couple of days ago with Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett for a little update on law enforcement from Brian Burnett's perspective, the Chelan County Sheriff, and that conversation with Steve Hare and Brian Burnett, you'll see in the back half of the hour in another segment of In Focus. A couple of minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go around the valley, see what we got for you. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley proper. Another gorgeous view from the cross cam. Not a cloud in the sky, although it's cold. It's 23 degrees outside of our studios. Now, yesterday's low was 21. It got down there. Our normal low for this time of the year is 28. But again, no clouds means nothing holds the afternoon heat in, and it's just like taking the lid off a big pot of boiling water. It eventually will stop boiling. Yesterday's high, by the way, was 44 degrees, which was just about normal. Sunrise this morning was at 6:58, so about 4 minutes ago. Sunset tonight, 5:32. That means we get 10 hours and 34 minutes of daylight. We're gaining about 90 seconds of daylight a day. As we're still well into winter. Spring's a ways away, but not that far away. And then, of course, we go from standard time to daylight saving time, the bane of my existence. Camera 2, where are we going, Megan? Let's take a look-see. Megan gets to decide. My guess is there's so many beautiful cameras to look at. She says, let's go look at Lake Wenatchee. Is that Lake Wenatchee, the Two Rivers camera? It is. Still in black and white because it's not quite bright enough for the lens to change from black and white to color. If it's bright enough, it does that automatically. But if it's dark enough to let in as much information into the lens as possible, it switches to black and white. And it looks like Lake Wenatchee is starting to melt away a little bit. Good morning to our friends up at Lake Wenatchee, one of my favorite places in north central Washington. Camera number 3. Let's say hello to Cashmere. Hi, Cashmere. How are you? By the way, the Cashmere boys now know who they're going to be playing in the next round of the playoffs. The boys basketball team for Cashmere High. We'll get to that here when we get to sports. Good morning to our friends at Cashmere. We call that camera the Apple Andes camera because it's located high above the Apple Andes Mall, just on the outskirts of Cashmere. Good morning to Cashmere. And finally, camera number 4. Can't wait for this one. Billy Goat. Boy, I've been wondering when we're going to go back to Billy Goat. Look at that. Billy Goat, my favorite. My favorite of all. They're all good. There's no real bad cameras, but Billy Goat, it's my favorite. Way off in the distance is Mount Kalispell, spelt with a C and located in Canada, which is also spelt with a C. We say good morning to our friends up in the greater Okanagan County area with Brewster, Bridgeport, and Pateros out there somewhere. Now, can't quite see the Methow Valley. We can move the camera around. They're PTZ cameras. It means pan, tilt, and zoom. But if we move it to the left to go up to the Methow Valley, all you see is the support posts that the camera sits on, which isn't so good of a view. So there you go. Good work, Megan, on our tour around north central Washington on this Thursday morning. All right, we do have a slide to show for you from the National Weather Service. Maybe a little bit of snow. Oh, there you go. There's your weekend snow forecast. So what they do know for the weekend, it's going to snow in the major mountain passes. Mountain snow is going to be quite heavy at times over the weekend, but what they're not too sure about is how much snow we're going to get in the lower elevations. They're thinking little or no snow accumulations. Our afternoon highs are still going to be in the 40s. So whatever little snow we get here in little old Wenatchee Town, USA, isn't going to stick around very long. From Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they give your home a hug. The National Weather Service says this is what we're looking at. Another day of sunshine and a high of about 42 degrees. Clear tonight, 27 for the overnight low. By this time tomorrow, that high-pressure dome is going to start gradually moving in. We'll start out with quite a bit of clear skies on Friday. By Friday afternoon, the clouds will be thickening up. A little bit warmer, but not much, 44 for the overnight low. And because we're going to have cloud cover Friday night, it's going to be milder, 31 for the overnight low. And then Saturday, well, not bad. Partly cloudy, partly sunny, and a high of 47 degrees. And then Saturday night, we could get a little bit of light snow here on the valley floor. The snow level is going to go down to about 1,800 feet Saturday night into Sunday morning. So you could wake up early Sunday morning with a couple of light snowflakes. My guess is it'll probably just be a little bit of light snow. It's not going to accumulate. As you can tell, Sunday's high 47 degrees. So yeah, it ain't going to stick around very long, whatever we get. My guess is more of rain than snow on Sunday. Sunday night, slight chance of a rain-snow mix, 33 for the overnight low. Then we go right back to sunshine Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And again, slightest chance of some light snow here in the Wenatchee Valley early Sunday morning, with the snow level dropping down to about 1,800 feet. So there's your forecast. And let's take you up to the major mountain passes. We got nothing for you. Well, we got the passes. They're still there. They haven't moved anywhere. But no, you're good to go. It's bare and dry across the board. There's a live shot of I-90. Yeah, no restrictions. You're good. Looking good. Snow's a little dirty, but hey, that's that time of the year. Stevens Pass, you're fine. Roadways bare and dry. No advisories, no restrictions. The lens is a little dirty, and that's about all there is to it there. Lots of asphalt underneath your tires. And on Blewett Pass, again, same deal. Roadways bare and dry. Some frost and ice in places. Absolutely zero snow in the forecast for the mountain passes until Saturday night, and especially Sunday. Saturday night, they're going to get a couple of inches in the major mountain passes, but the major snow event for the Cascades is going to be on Sunday, anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of snow possible on Sunday. So if you have driving plans over the mountain passes Sunday, could be a little on the dicey side. It's 7 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break and come back with your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck: there's no reason to leave town.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab, or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Clear skies, 25 degrees. Lots of sunshine today. Another day of the good stuff. Highs will be in the lower 40s. Increasing clouds on Friday. Fairly cloudy over the weekend with a slight chance of snow, but probably more in the form of rain. At 9 minutes after the hour, here's what's making headlines. Okanagan County public health officials are trying to stop rumors that a case of novel coronavirus has been diagnosed in Okanagan County. Now, the rumors were started through one of several phishing scams that's popped up in communities throughout the nation in the wake of this outbreak. The idea behind the scam is to try to get personal information. Well, here's what's happening. Potential victims receive an email or a call from somebody claiming to be from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They say that the virus has spread to their area. The targeted person is then asked to enter their email passwords in order to get more information. There's been only one diagnosed case, of course, of coronavirus in the state, and that was in Snohomish County. Be forewarned. A struggle between two men outside of the Wenatchee Safeway on Tuesday night ended with one receiving a minor stab wound. Wenatchee police say they were called about 10:15 in the evening to the scuffle. One man in his 30s stabbed in the leg. He was treated and released. The suspect, also a white man in his 30s, ran away. The fight occurred near the front entrance of the Safeway store close to Miller Street. Police Captain Brian Burnett says the investigation is ongoing. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say a Kent man sexually abused a local child starting when she was 8 years old. Thomas Benjamin Knowles charged last week with 3 counts of first-degree child rape and ordered to appear by summons. The child, now 12, told investigators the assaults happened while Knowles visited her East Wenatchee home. He was between 14 and 16 years old. At the time, Knowles has no prior felony record in Washington State. He has not been jailed. He must make his first court appearance March 9th in Douglas County Superior Court. A $1.2 million judgment in a serious Quincy school bus crash will not be overturned despite misconduct by the plaintiff's lawyers. That's the ruling from the Court of Appeals yesterday after the Quincy School District appealed the jury award from a lawsuit over that 2012 rollover accident. 36 children were hurt. One family sued over injuries to 3 of their kids, one of whom received serious spinal injuries. Now, during the trial back in 2017, the family's attorney inappropriately read text messages to the jury sent by the children's doctor. The appeals court says despite that misconduct, the jury award will be allowed to stand. Well, Chelan County PUD commissioners on Tuesday approved a package of rate increases on electricity, water, wastewater, and wholesale fiber. For residential electric customers, it'll mean an average increase on their base charge of $1.75 beginning this June and continues for the next 5 years. In all, the PUD estimates the average home electricity bill will go up from $55 a month to $63.75 a month by the year 2024. The PUD proposed the rate increases in small portions over those years to avoid a bigger one-time jump in rates. It's the first time in 9 years the PUD has raised residential rates. The PUD strategic plan identified a substantial need for refurbishing and maintenance on their transmission and distribution systems and their buildings. The first rate changes for commercial and industrial customers, those don't kick in until December 1st. Also at Tuesday's PUD meeting, the PUD commissioners agreed to purchase a quarter-acre parcel of land along the Wenatchee River near their new Olds Station Service Center. The PUD sees the purchase as a chance to extend the Apple Capital Loop Trail and add public access to the shoreline. The PUD will pay $300,000 for the property. The closing will take place before March 5th. And finally, on this Thursday, an East Wenatchee police detective with 30 years of service said farewell to the force last week. Darren Darnell received his final radio service call on Valentine's Day in the City Council chambers. Congratulations. He was a key investigator, Darnell was, in a lot of East Wenatchee criminal cases, including the arrest of that man, the Sewer and Water Commissioner Mike McCourt, on a charge of child molestation. Mike McCourt, of course, is now serving 4 years in prison, and that's what's making headlines at 14 minutes after the hour. Grant Olson handles the news and the weather. Eric Granstrom with sports. They're a pretty good tandem, and they'll be delivering the news for you tonight with a preview of this evening's newscast. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Megan McPherson will let you know what activities are happening around the valley this weekend for you to possibly take in. I'll have your sunny and unseasonably warm north central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have a preview of tonight's Big 9 district basketball action. All that and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Grant's doing double duty, of course. He's got the news to do, and then at 6:30 tonight on television, you can watch the Wenatchee Davis District 6 4A playoff basketball game. We'll have it for you live on our Facebook stream starting at 6 o'clock. You can watch it on TV beginning at 6:30. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. We give you all the tools in the toolbox for you to do that. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our website at ncwlife.com. Click on the Contact Us icon and fill out the form. We'll get that as well. Or, if you want to, go to our Facebook page and drop us a Facebook message. A lot of folks like to do that as well. Going to take a break. You want basketball scores? I got basketball scores. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Wow, Wenatchee Valley, Collins Winter Clearance has begun. 30% off boots, coats, jackets, vests, sweaters, tunics, tops, selected jeans and slacks, winter scarves and gloves. All red-checked items are 30% off. Lotus handbags, selected Brighton luggage and jewelry, all on sale. And your favorite brands like Joseph Ribkoff, French dressing, Tribal, Icelandic, soft boots, etc. Super service, super selection, all at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
25 degrees, clear skies at 17 minutes after the hour on this Thursday. Let's take a look at sports. Shane Michaels scored 6 of his 11 points in overtime. And Wenatchee Valley College, they beat Big Ben last night at W.B. Smith Gymnasium in men's college basketball. Malik Parsons led the Knights with 23 points. Wenatchee Valley improves to 10-4 in conference play, 22-5 overall. And the Cougars looked really listless last night. They lost 3 in a row now for the first time this season. They lost to Cal 66-57. Savannah Stevenson's jumper with 5 seconds remaining lifted Big Ben Community College to a victory over Wenatchee Valley College last night, 67-66. The Lady Knights had a shot at the buzzer, but Natalie Andreas' jumper just missed the mark. So the Lady Knights fall to 10-4 in conference play. They're 19-8 overall. It was the Vikings' 4th win in conference play this season. Big Ben led by the 30 points of Anna Yarborough. Let's take a look at the schedule in women's college basketball tonight. It looks something like this. Central hosts Western Oregon. Number 13 Gonzaga is at Loyola Marymount, and Eastern Washington travels to Sacramento State. The men's schedule tonight: Eastern Washington will host Sacramento State. Stanford plays at Washington. Central Washington will host Western Oregon at the nightcap of a doubleheader in Ellensburg, and number 2 Gonzaga will host San Francisco. You can watch that on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock. At the District 5 2A tournament that's going on at the Sundome last night, here are your finals. The Prosser boys get 3rd place by knocking off East Valley of Yakima. So the Mustangs will move on to the Glue crossover games, excuse me, against the Greater Northern League. That'll be Saturday at 6:30. They'll take on West Valley of Spokane. East Valley will travel to Clarkston for the crossover game at 6:30. Sela and Toppenish, by the way, will play at 5 o'clock tonight in the Sundome for the championship. In girls play last night, Prosser Toppenish in the battle for 3rd and 4th place. Prosser will host West Valley of Spokane at 5. Toppenish will travel to Clarkston at 5. East Valley and Ellensburg meet in the Sundome Saturday night at 7:30 for the district championship. We now know the opponents for the Caribou Trail League boys in their crossover games against the Northeast A. These games will be played on Saturday. Newport beat Medical Lake last night, 46-34 to take 3rd place in their district tournament. They'll play at Cashmere Saturday at 5 o'clock. Deer Park won the District 7 1A title. They downed Freeman last night, 71-62. That means the Scotties will host Omax Saturday at 5 o'clock in the other crossover game. The District 6 4A championship will be settled tonight. They'll be down in the Yakima Valley. The Eastmont Wildcats and the Rams of West Valley tip it off at 7:30 for the championship. The two teams have met twice so far this season. The Rams won both games. They won by 13 points in December and 22 points last month. Eastmont heads to Yakima, placing 2nd in the Big Nine. They finished 9-3 in league, 13-6 overall. The Rams undefeated in Big Nine play. They're 18-2 overall, and they are ranked 8th in the latest RPI by the WIAA. Now, the other game features Davis at Wenatchee. We're going to have that game for you on the NCW Life channel tonight. The Pirates advanced to the district tournament when they beat Sunnyside on Tuesday. Of course, the Panthers defeated Moses Lake on Tuesday. In the 2 previous meetings, Davis won both of them. They beat Wenatchee by 19 in Yakima back in December, and they beat Wenatchee by 9 about a month ago here in the big city. Going to also have the play-by-play tonight. It'll be live on our Facebook stream starting at 6 o'clock. You can watch it on TV starting at 6:30. The loser of the West Valley and Eastmont Championship game will host the winner of Davis and Wenatchee Saturday at 6 o'clock. The Moses Lake girls will try to continue their dominant season. They will host the district championship game tonight. They'll host Sunnyside. Sunnyside is the only team to beat the Chiefs this season. That was back on December 20th. Moses Lake dominated the last time they played, by the way, winning by 22. The other District 6 4A game is tonight. West Valley will host Eisenhower. That loser-out game will tip off at 6. The West Valley Ike winner will travel to the Sunnyside Moses Lake loser Saturday at 6 o'clock. The District 6 1B tournament underway. First of all, we'll start out with girls play. Wilson Creek will face Riverside Christian at 5 o'clock tonight, followed by the district championship game between Pateros and Moses Lake Christian. And in the boys, the semifinals today, Antioch will take on Pateros at 3:30. That's followed at 6:30 by Moses Lake Christian and Riverside Christian. The winners of those two games will play each other for the district championship Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And we now know the days and the times for the by-district 2B tournament, which is going to be held in Quincy tomorrow. And then again on Saturday in the girls' game tomorrow at 6:15, you got Liberty Bell and Columbia Burbank. The rest of the games for the ladies will be played on Saturday, like Roosevelt taking on White Swan, Brewster and Mabton, and finally Waterville, Mansfield, and Tri-Cities Prep. The boys will actually play 2 games tomorrow and then 2 on Saturday, all of them at Quincy High. The 4:30 game Friday features Orville and Columbia Burbank. At 8 o'clock, you got Lake Roosevelt and Liberty Christian. Liberty Bell and White Swan Saturday at noon, and Brewster and Kittitas will tip it off at 7:15. By the way, 35 more days until the opening day of the baseball season, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 22 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday is National Love Your Pet Day. Don't you just love that photo? Just love your pet. Spoil your pet. Spend a little time with your pet. Give them the love and affection they deserve. Doesn't matter what kind of pet it is, be it a dog, a cat, or a bird, or a fish. Pamper them. Show them how much you mean to me. I got Pets by the Numbers. This is the number of households in the United States that has a pet. 60 million households have at least one dog. 47 million households in this country have at least one cat. 12 million households have a fish or 2. 8 million households have a bird or 2. 4.7 million households in this country have a reptile. They have a lizard hanging around the house, I guess. 2.6 million households have horses. Probably not in the household, though. That would be a heck of a thing to clean up. Lots of benefits of owning a pet. It lessens the chance of developing allergies. It strengthens the immune systems of children. Having a pet, of course, is a great icebreaker. Out walking the dog, it's a great way to meet new people. Of course, it improves your heart health, it improves your mental health, improves your fitness level. Love your pet today. Love your pet every day, but especially today. It's ironic because we have kennel cameos on Thursdays, don't we? It's 23 minutes after the hour. Today in history, happy birthday to the Postal Service. The Postal Service is 228 years old today. February 20th, 1792, the Postal Service Act was signed into law by President George Washington. It was known as the United States Post Office Department, and the Postmaster General, the head dude, was actually a member of the President's cabinet until the late 60s, early 70s, when the post office became its own entity. Happy birthday to the post office. It's ironic because I don't get any mail anymore. Everything's online now, you know. If I get 2 pieces of mail in a week, it's a flood for me. Happy birthday to the post office. Happy birthday to the Met. The Metropolitan Museum of Art opened its doors to the public on February 20th, 1872 in New York City. It's 148 years old today. I've been to New York any number of times, and I tell people who are going for the first time, you have to do the Met, and you have to put aside an entire day to do the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's the largest art museum in the United States. They get over 7 million visitors a year. It's the 2nd most visited art museum in the world and the 5th most visited museum of any kind in the world. And until just a couple of years ago, it was absolutely free. It was a suggested donation. They had a box there. You could put in a penny, you could put in $100, you can put in nothing if you wanted to visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art. For residents of New York City, it is still free. If you do not live in New York City, it costs you $25, and believe me, it's worth $25. The spectacular Metropolitan Museum of Art. If you've never been there, put it on your list. In the world of broadcasting, we used to have the emergency broadcast system. We don't have that anymore. It's now the emergency alert system. But the emergency broadcast system, you know what it does. It in case something really big happens, it fires up and says, hey, something really big is going on. Well, the EBS accidentally activated a national alert on this date 49 years ago today, back in 1971. It was a Sunday morning. They were supposed to do a test for all the radio stations and all the television stations. It was a pre-scheduled test. They knew it was coming, but instead of just doing a test, the operator accidentally sent an actual alert, which went out over the airwaves. It took a long time to get this straightened out, about 40 minutes. And it also, the false alarm, well, because of it, they realized they had some major flaws in the emergency broadcast system. A lot of radio stations didn't receive the alert. More importantly, the vast majority of those who received this national alert ignored it because at the time they thought it was a scheduled test or they didn't even know what to do in an emergency. Thank God we don't have the emergency broadcast system anymore. The EAS works a lot better. And finally, on this date, 12 years ago, February 20th, 2008, a Rolling Stones album called Black and Blue, which was purchased at a car boot sale in London for $2.79, was sold at an auction for almost $6,000 because the LP, Black and Blue, which by the way is not a very good album, the album was signed, it was autographed by John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Paul McCartney, Linda McCartney, George Harrison, and the Rolling Stones. The guy who bought it for $2.76 knew what he had. Sold it at an auction for almost $6,000. Why the Beatles would sign a Rolling Stones album is beyond me. Let's do some birthdays. Happy 93rd birthday to Sidney Poitier, the first African-American ever to win an Oscar for Best Actor for his role in Lilies in the Field. Of course, guess who's coming to dinner in the heat of the night to serve with love? The great actor, now retired, Sidney Poitier, is 93 years old today. In the Heat of the Night is a great movie. Great movie. The last surviving Kennedy sibling, Jean Kennedy Smith, is 92 years old today. She had a brother who was the President of the United States. She had a brother who was the Attorney General of the United States and later Senator from New York. She had a brother who was a longtime Senator from Massachusetts. He's 92 years old today. Jean Kennedy Smith, the 8th of the 9 Kennedy children and the last surviving sibling, 92 years old today. We miss Walter Becker, the great guitarist and songwriter with Steely Dan. Of course, he passed away 3 years ago at the age of 67. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2001. Great guitarist, great songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, the great Walter Becker, born in the state in 1950. Cindy Crawford is 54 years old today, and she's not just another pretty face. She was the valedictorian of her class at DeKalb High School in Illinois in 1984. She earned an academic scholarship to go to Northwestern University. She was supposed to study chemical engineering. She dropped out after one semester to become a model. But she's smart, really smart, and she's 54 years old today. And Justin Verlander. Life is good for Justin, a great pitcher, the last of the really great power pitchers, I think, in Major League Baseball. He's 37 years old today. He's one of only 2 players to win the Rookie of the Year, the Cy Young Award, and an MVP award. He makes $28 million a year, and he's married to Kate Upton. Life is good for Justin Verlander. And he's got a World Series ring, and he's 37 years old today. All right, we got an opinion from Mike McNaughty coming up, and then Steve Hare's conversation with Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett in focus comes your way in the back half of the hour. But first things first, Chloe the cat needs a home. It's Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey everyone, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We're here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Chloe is joining us this week. She likes her head scratched.
Yes, she does.
Can you tell us about Chloe?
Yeah, so Chloe came to us. She was an owner surrender. She wasn't very friendly, and her family really thought that she would be better off as a barn buddy, so a cat that was a mouser and somewhere where they could live outside, have shelter to sleep in, be fed, but that she would be more her own cat. So they brought her in. We had her in the back. We were doing some temperament testing and different things that we do with our cats. We took her and got her ear tipped when we got her fixed, and got her ready to go out as a barn buddy. And then she turned out really likes people. She's probably going to be better in an older home with no children, just adults, and no other cats. But she is the sweetest thing. I mean, she will let you just sit and pat her head for I would bet hours. So she's looking for a home, just somebody who's gonna kind of let her be the queen that she is, but that will sit and give her pets on the heads and lay by you and snuggle up while you read or watch TV.
And what's the adoption process for her?
So for Chloe, she's ready to go home today. Somebody just needs to come down, meet her, make sure she's going to be the right fit for their family. Her adoption fee is $65, and they can take her home today. It covers vaccinations. She's spayed and microchipped.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you. Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. If you're ready for a party on the water, check out the line of Sylvan pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors. Plush chairs at the rear fishing station will have you casting in comfort. And your friends and family who aren't so interested in what the fish have to offer can lounge on luxurious furniture in the front. See the Sylvan line of pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Cottage Inn has been serving quality home-cooked meals to our community, friends, and family for 80 years. Whether you prefer fresh seafood, hand-cut steaks, or one of our comfort food recipes, it's all here. Add Washington wines, craft beers, and those extra special cocktails, and you have a dining experience that has stood the test of time. Come celebrate 80 years of excellence at the Cottage Inn, serving lunch and dinner with home-cooked breakfasts available on Sundays. We look forward to seeing you.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, as a mental health professional, I sometimes deal with clients and the stress and angst that's caused by their finances. Now, some folks are working themselves to the bone to not really build their business, but to make their business bigger and more financially successful. Now, I always ask these people, what are you really working for? Now, being a financial success is fine. Money is a great thing. But if it becomes only a goal in itself and not the tool it's supposed to be, all some people are working for is gain, not for a life of fulfillment. You know, sometimes Rosie and I just go out for an expensive dinner or take a weekend out of town without worrying about what we're spending. And we look at each other and say this in a meaningful way together, this is what we're working for. Now, that's the truth. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
People are really skeptical of our industry. They have been sold products, they have been sold policies they either don't need, don't understand, confusing. I understand that. We are more about the process and the people. Our SFG roadmap is designed to take care of all of those concerns. For those that have questions about their retirement, we would love the opportunity to sit down and chat with you.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Chelan, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett joins us today on our recent segment of In Focus. Thanks for joining us.
You bet.
A lot to talk about today. I know that you had a meeting this morning with the Chelan County Board of Commissioners.
Yeah, we do every other week with on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock with the Chelan County Commissioners.
What was on the agenda for today?
Yeah. Well, generally, Steve, I try to give an update on, always give a staffing update, let them know where we're at. And that's from, are we hiring? Where are we at in the process? Are we doing tests? And we might have somebody on light duty, do we have somebody on sick leave that's a little, just extra things that are impact to their budget and operations. I like to give an operations update on different things that were going on. Obviously, if there's action items that need to take for budgetary purposes, then we'll talk about those. And then we'll talk about, a lot of different things, our specialty teams, from, again, emergency management to our K-9 program to Marine to our regional SWAT team to the drug task force, anything that's importance of that to talk about. And then obviously finalizing with a budget perspective. A lot of times they have a pretty good feel on our budget because, the second Tuesday of each month, we have what we call a department head meeting. So all of your elected officials and your appointed department heads meet. Auditor gives his budget, financial, forecast and where we're at, where your department is tracking within your budget for that current date and time on the year and different things like that. So.
Well, I know that in the past, sheriff's overtime has always been a big issue.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what time of the year it is. Certainly during the wildfire season, you rack up a lot of overtime. During any emergency, I suppose that's the case. But
yeah, and we have a lot of other overtime, from Memorial Weekend to Oktoberfest, 3 weekends, Christmas lighting in Leavenworth. But those are planned events, so we really know forecasted about what those are going to cost. It's the wildfires, especially on big ones. We've seen in the past. Thank God that we haven't seen those significantly impact us for a couple of years. So really, very thankful. Yeah. Absolutely. But in the past, we've seen where days off have been canceled for 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of overtime, and a lot of that is recovered through our federal emergency management program. But at the same time, the county has to pay that money up front, and it could take a year to 18 months later to recover that money.
How does the labor picture look right now at the Sheriff's Department in terms of the number of deputies you have out there right now?
Okay, budgetary-wise, we're budgeted for 60 commissioned personnel, and in July 1 we actually pick up an additional one, so take us to 61. We're probably facing, I would say the next 12 to 18 months, probably the largest numbers of commissioned personnel that we need to hire since my tenure as sheriff in the last 9 years.
How would you compare Chelan County with other sheriff's departments around the state in terms of, well, let's say the benefits and the and salaries for deputies?
That's a good topic because we're just right now in mediation, and it looks like we're probably going to have an agreement on a contract that will go to the Chelan County Deputy Sheriff's Association members for a vote to the membership. And then we're still working on what we call our non-commissioned contract as well. It's hard because we have to work off of what we call comparables. So the counties look at when they get into negotiations is commission staff, population, and some other factors in that, and economically to see what we compare, what they could use comparables. The problem is with that is they don't allow us to use cities, even though locally here we compete with Wenatchee Police Department and East Wenatchee Police Department. And traditionally, city departments have always paid more when you look in perspective for population size or department personnel numbers of employees. And so it's very hard for us. The message that I've tried to deliver to the commissioners is we need to be as competitive as we can, and maybe we can't match them and close that gap completely, and maybe we can't use Wenatchee as comparable, but we still have to look at that forecasting down the future to say, are we losing employees to those agencies? And if it is, why are we losing employees? And we haven't lost a lot over the course of time, Steve, but we have lost a few. And and I've talked to some members here, and sometimes it's just things that come up independently on their own life, as like as a breadwinner or whatever situation they are. Maybe it's an employee that's used to be married, and maybe they went through a divorce, and now they're kind of living more as a single parent, and so the dollar is now different. You have two different households, and they're in that. So we've talked to different individuals, say, hey, I need to maybe I need to pick up another $500 to $1,000 a month.
So you're flexible in that.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. But again, my message to the commissioners would be say, hey, what is it we can do to kind of close that gap? Because one, we don't want to use valued, tenured employees to other agencies if we can, because it's going to cost a lot of money to hire and retrain. And if we lose that person and there's that gap in there, and especially when it looks at patrol shifts, if we're down, are we having to backfill those, and what's that impact to our overtime budget?
Okay. I was going to ask you too, in terms of the labor, where would you like to be in terms of manpower?
Oh, manpower. Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. You can never have enough employees, right? Because it's the unplanned for, the unpredictables. Last year at this time we had 6, 7, or 8 people either on light duty or sick leave from a personal cause. That's the most I've seen in the last 9 years as sheriff. Now, right now, we just got one that just got released that had been on light duty for a year from a work-related shoulder injury, and is actually going back to patrol on Friday. So there's a big, clap and shout. Yeah. We're all excited about that. But that puts us down. We just have 2 members right now. So you know that you're always floating in that range. You can expect to be 1 or 2 people down. When it starts getting 4, 5, or 6, when you're looking at that, and then if you have unfilled positions. All of those things kind of multiply together, and so we're actually down. We have 5 positions to fill by around July 1st. We have 2 right now. We're going to have 3 more starting July 1st. We have a couple more, I believe, planned retirements. And then there's always the unknown out there. Maybe there's a guy that hasn't told you that he's planning on leaving in the next 6 to 8 months, and maybe he's getting ready to turn his letter of intent to retire. And do we lose any staff members to any other agencies, or somebody just going through a life change and they're moving and they got some different things going on in their family? So there's always those predictions. So I mean, I think the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is predicting that we'll be hiring anywhere probably from 7 to 9 in the next 12 to 18 months.
Well, I know from what I've been reading and seeing on the news from the Puget Sound area that a lot of city police that are pretty much dissatisfied with the way law enforcement is working and the courts are working in Seattle area. Do you see much of that migration, let's say, from the west to the east side?
Now, are we talking about our citizens?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about law enforcement.
Oh, law enforcement.
Yeah.
I'll say our labor pool has definitely changed. Obviously, there's an advantage that we have now through public safety testing is we have access to a lot more candidates, but so does all the other agencies.
Yeah.
And so, back in the day, in the late, 80s and 90s, when we were testing, you tested and filled out by hand an application to every single agency. Now you do one online, it goes to public safety testing, and that application can be distributed to a dozen or more agencies. And so then you will get called up for an oral interview. So it really, as far as the candidate, I think they have a lot better exposure and chances of putting their resume and their application out there to all the different agencies. At the same time as what we don't see is, where I used to go and test for, when I was trying to get into law enforcement, you'd show up and there'd be 40, 50, 60 people taking that written test all in one location. And there might be, 20 or 30 doing the oral interviews, and then they would rank you and you get put on a list. Now, we're just not seeing those numbers. We're doing 8 to 12 at a time.
Wow.
Because that's what there is, because it's so competitive. As soon as public safety testing releases their new test results, you've got all of these agencies around the state converging in on the and singling out the most qualified candidates. So it's very, very competitive.
Very competitive, yeah.
And I see that same thing here, Wenatchee Police, Douglas County, East Wenatchee, we're all competing for that same top applicant. And I think they have some challenges as well. But, talking to our neighbor here, just a couple counties away, Yakima County Sheriff's Office, I want to say that they're budgeted for 55 or 54, and they were like 8 positions down. So I'm feeling pretty good about our current situation. At the same time as we know we have our work cut out for us to hire and train a large number of individuals that we hope that we are able to actually, and I'll call it, convince to say, why do you want to work? We want those people to want to work here, not just to say, I want to become certified and be a police officer, so I'm willing to go to work for any agency. We're actually trying to create an environment, a culture that people say, I want to come and work for Chelan County Sheriff's Office specifically because, one, they invest in their people, they train, they give them the equipment, they prepare them, and it's a place we want to do. When you lose that pay advantage, that can kind of shrink that gap,
Sure.
and so we need to try to keep that up there as close as we can.
Well, I would think that Chelan County would be kind of an attractive place to live.
Oh, absolutely. People love to come and live and recreate here. So.
Absolutely. We're talking again with Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett today, talking a little bit about some of the labor issues that he deals with on a daily basis. Last week we had some folks with the DOT and with the Transportation Council in, and they were talking about the study that's ongoing relating to the Highway 2 Upper Valley Transportation Study. I think we talked a little bit about that with you here recently, especially as it pertains to festivals and weekend traffic up in the Leavenworth area. Have you had a chance to look at this study and sound off on it?
I have not, Steve. Obviously, there's challenges for the future ahead. I mean, for how do you get more lanes of travel in, especially going through Leavenworth and in that area, with the festivals the crowd that they draw in, not just seasonally, but around the year. There's some big challenges there for us. Obviously, as population increases and we attract more people and they build more homes, just that impact to the infrastructure on our local highways in itself is going to be an increase. I mean, we're looking at, this proposed build-up for Mission Ridge.
Right.
And so I've been recently contacted by the county and from different departments to say, what impact do you believe it's going to be to law enforcement, public safety? And so we actually just pulled up, we pulled up 3 years worth of law calls, which could be a 911 call, it could be a theft, it could be a domestic, all of our accidents and different things for that Mission Ridge area on the top, upper end of that road. And I think we had 184 calls in the last 3 years. But add 800 residents at an estimated population of 2,000 people, the impact to infrastructure, to the roadway, the accidents.
Well, I can tell you, I live on the east side, and every morning I can look across the river of Squilchuck Road, and there's a steady stream of cars coming down that highway.
It's going to be a big impact. What that really looks like, I don't know, but we're going to work closely with our public works, our county engineer, and different things to try to figure this out and give the best recommendation we can. We know it'll have a financial impact to the county, both positive and negative. You're going to bring in, you're going to have building and growth. There's tax revenue there. There's property taxes, all of that different stuff. At the same time, what impact does it have on our local government services, specifically for our side of it, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office?
Well, we're nearing the conclusion of our little talk here. I just was curious if there's anything else you'd like to bring up for our listeners today, or our viewers on NCW.
Oh yeah, just a reminder that we kicked off our new Instagram program.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
So
adding that to your social media offerings, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I like to stay as far advanced with the technology side of it as we can, but again, I'm pretty limited in my talents and resources. But our Chief of Patrol, Rick Johnson, actually came to us and said, "Hey, I think we ought to do this. Let's kind of start a pilot program." So we met, we got it all set up, and we just kicked off with 6 individuals that could start posting, lifetime stuff. Really, it's designed for us. And we're going to have some events out there. If we go to a graduation, we're going to post that.
Sure.
I attended and spoke at a funeral for retired Yakima County Sheriff Brian Winters, and I posted a photo and a little comment there. But really, what it's designed for is, hey, when there's an accident and we got inclement weather, or there's an emergency, something that the public wants that lifetime information coming at them, that our deputies actually out in the field have that ability to actually get that information into your hands as soon as possible. And because that's really what it is. It's the speed and the specifics of getting accurate information to you as quickly as possible.
Possibility that with the use of social media, we'll see more like cop cam images and that type of stuff, or what?
Well, I think that's a ways out, and obviously we're not doing body cams, obviously, and there's public disclosure and all of that. So we'll have to see. And I don't think that Cops Live is beating down the door for Chelan County to make that part of their show. So I need to give you make sure you can find that. And of course, I don't want to make sure I give you the wrong one, but let me look this up here real quick, and we'll give you the handle here to make sure that you can find it if you want to be part of that Instagram.
So you're on Twitter too, aren't you now? Twitter, Facebook. I know you're on Facebook.
We are, and so of course, Steve, you're going to make me put my glasses on here in front of everybody.
Bear with us, folks.
So they can't. My kids joke at me, said you can't make the font big enough on Dad's phone anymore. But yeah, so you just want to go to search Chelan CO as in county, Sheriff's Office. So that's Chelan CO Sheriff's Office, and join Instagram and follow us, and we'd love to have you as a follower, because really it's about information sharing. And at the same time, if you know what's going on, you're going to see maybe an event, maybe there's a wanted person, maybe there's an investigation that we're working on and that you've heard about, and you can come back and share some information, because our citizens and the members of this community are really the strength and the backbone of any and all investigations, because you're our eyes and ears. And so as you can give that information back to us, we can do the best and most thorough investigation to solve public safety issues at hand.
Well, as always, I want to thank you for joining us. And again, we'll talk to you next month.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Sheriff Brian Burnett joining us today on In Focus on NCW Life. I'm Steve Hare.
world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in north central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Thursday, the 20th day of February, 2020. It's a beautiful morning. Got up to about 25, 26 degrees. The sun came up and dropped back down again. We're at 23 degrees outside of our studio. So if you haven't fired up the automobile yet and you have to park it outside, you'll be scraping your windshield this morning, but not on your afternoon commute. It's another beautiful day. Let's go ahead and take a look what we have in store for us. First, something the National Weather Service sent to us. What are we looking at for the weekend for snow? Well, significant snow is going to be possible over the mountain passes. Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie, Lookout Pass, they're all going to get snow. So travel will be difficult, especially on Sunday. Also breezy winds over the higher elevations. What they're a little unsure about, the National Weather Service, is how much snow to expect across the valleys. Probably little or even none at all. If we get any snow at all, it is not going to last because we're going to see temperatures actually climb up as this high pressure ridge begins to slide out of position. It's gradually moving to the east. It's going to hang around for about another day and a half, the rest of the day today, tonight, and a little bit on Friday. But by the time we get to Friday afternoon, you'll notice the clouds will begin to roll in from the west. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for you, forecast-wise. So another day of this stuff, 42, our high. That's just about normal. We hit 44 yesterday, but it's going to take us a little while to get up to that mark. So it'll be 42, 43 degrees late in the afternoon. 27, clear skies for the overnight low tonight. As I mentioned before, the clouds will be increasing as Friday progresses. We'll top off at 44. Lots of clouds Friday night, 31 for the overnight low. Saturday, a mixture of clouds and sun, and a high of 47. The best chance of snow here in the valley, and again, we're not betting on it. I'd be surprised if we get any at all, would be overnight Saturday night into Sunday. And I'm talking about the wee small hours of the morning on Sunday. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., right before the sun comes up is our best chance of snow. And then it will probably switch over to rain by Sunday afternoon. The snow level will be at 1,500 feet Sunday morning. It's going to go up to 3,100 feet by the afternoon. We'll even see some sun breaks perhaps on Sunday afternoon, and a high of 49, and then things look good Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday. Back to the sunshine, and look at those very consistent high temperatures. As I mentioned before, the major mountain passes are going to expect some snow later. Not now. You're fine. I-90, looking good. No advisories, no restrictions. Stevens Pass, bare and dry. Blue Pass, bare and dry. But if you have travel plans over the weekend in the Cascades, the day to avoid it, if you can anyway, is going to be Sunday. Anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of snow expected in the mountain passes on Sunday. Maybe a little bit of snow on Saturday, but Sunday is the big snow event for the Cascades. And again, we could get just a little bit of snow down here. I wouldn't bet on it. That's it for us. Have a fantabulous Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.